Hmm. Happy Monday. It is Monday. It is the first Monday after International Women's Day. I want to hear, drop in the chat. What did you do? Did you celebrate? Did you go to any event? Did you post something on Facebook? Did you maybe you didn't even know it was International Women's Day the other day? Tell me what you did. I would love to know. While you do that, I'm going to turn the lights on in my office. Pansy says it was a rested kind of day. I love that. Anastasia posted on Facebook. What else? What else did you do? I got to be at an event here in Dallas, which was so funny because, um, I am born and raised in Dallas, and everywhere I go, I know like everyone. And of course, I knew a ton of women that were there, but like 80% of the audience were women from across the country that had flown in. So it was so cool. Like, I loved it. I loved getting to meet so many other women. It was a women's wealth symposium. So let's see. You baked and did laundry. Yes, posted on social. You spent time with other badass women. I love that. I love that. All right, we're going to give it a minute or two because I know a lot of women have messaged me saying they wanted to be in the room. So we're excited about that. Okay, here's my other question for you. The time change. Did anyone else like not want to go to bed last night and then not want to wake up this morning? Or was that just me? Pansy says yes. Megan says she went to a cage fight. I'm gonna need to know a little bit more about what that means because I do not even understand what that means. Like, what kind of cage fight? Is this like WW, whatever it's called? I don't know. I don't know. Annette says she slept until 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Yolanda missed a Zoom this morning due to the change. Yeah. Okay, so super quick story while we're giving it one more minute. I, oh, Fonda, I'm gonna mute you. So when I was in college, Shane Langford and I were dating in college, but 1 year in particular, we were broken up. And I met a guy in my bowling class because I took bowling. I went to A&M, so this is like totally normal. I met this guy in bowling, and can I just tell y'all that Shane is like right in this other room? He's looking at me. I don't know if you've ever heard if he's ever heard this story. So that's kind of funny. Anywho, so it is March, and it's the whole like time change layover thing, whatever. And for some reason, this guy was like, "Oh, yeah, you're Catholic, I'm Catholic. Let's go to church together." And I don't know, I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool." I'd never been on to church with a dude before, so I didn't know. Y'all, I totally went to the bar the night before and overslept, and the guy knocks on my apartment door. And my bedroom was right next to our door. And I get out and I walk out and he's like, "Hey, do you still want to go to church?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me just a minute." Needless to say, that was the last date that we went on, and it was not a match made in heaven. I think that maybe it was a little bit of a turnoff that I probably even looked like I had just gotten home from the bar. Anywho, let's kick this off because it is 5 minutes after the hour. I am so pumped about today. I have a lot that I want to get through. And before we do that, I know that we have a lot of women who are new, and you're probably like, "What is Trailblazers? Who is Katie Langford?" So I just want to tell you a little bit about that, and then we are going to dive in. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Trailblazers Women in Real Estate Investing. My name is Katie Langford, and I'm the founder of our group. I will tell you that this group was formed by a complete and total accident. My husband sold his business in 2022. I finished my business. My business was falling apart in 2022. And in 2023, he said, I'm going to get into real estate investing full time. We had been investors since 2010. I would say he was the active investor and I was the passive investor because we own multiple rental properties and he did all of the things for it. So, as my business was closing down, I was going in a different direction. He said, come hang out with me in this thing called real estate investing. I thought, all right, I'll go ahead and do that. And y'all, for the 20 years prior to that, I either worked in major gift nonprofit fundraising. So that's where I started my career in 2002, climbed the ladder super quickly. I was working for women and girl organizations. I worked mostly with women donors who were giving five, six-figure gifts annually. And then I had gone over into the executive women's coaching space, and I was coaching women specifically with their career pivots. So fast forward, it's 2023. Shane's like, come hang out with me and do this real estate stuff. And I'm like, great, awesome. And I'm going to these meetups and I'm part of these mentorships. And I'm like, where are the women? Where are the women? And y'all, I was in this for about 5 weeks before I said, okay, I cannot hang out with dudes in hoodies all the time. That is not my jam. That is not what I do. So in July 2023, I started a small group of women getting together every Monday night to talk about our goals, to talk about what we were doing, and to see how we could drive our businesses forward. For those of you who do not know and are not aware, Lizanne says you remembered that Zoom. I'm so glad you remembered the Zoom too. Um, so for those of you who are not aware, only 31.6% of real estate investors are women. And when we talk about commercial real estate, the numbers are even more dismal. And so I thought, okay, well, I want to hang out with women. I want to do business with women. So I started this. And as I took off in my own real estate investing business, as I learned more beyond just the one mentorship that my husband joined and then another one that I joined, I started meeting women in other groups. And they said, well, I want to be a part of your Monday night group. So we gave ourselves a name. We said we were Trailblazers because, again, less than a third of us are women. And we said, okay, we're going to do this. And so for the last almost 2 years, we've really been trying to figure out what we're doing. And just so you know, for me, this time last year, I was like, I love these women. I love hanging out with them. The number one thing that I was hearing from you all was, I need more capital to do deals. So this time last year, I went to Fund Launch, which is one of Bridger Pennington's programs in Florida. It was actually the week before Pace Morby's Squat Up Summit. So I was able to stay and go back to both of those things. I went with the sole intention that I was going to start a fund raising money from women to invest within UL and your projects. When I got there, what I learned from meeting a couple of people is they said, Katie, you don't actually know anything about real estate, which was true. I don't know anything about real estate. I don't even really care about real estate. For me, real estate is a means to an end for me to get the life that I want and to help you and other women get the life that you want. And so I partnered up. So today I am actually a fund manager. I am a founding partner of this particular fund. And we primarily raise money from women. We invest in strip centers here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and in Southern California. And a lot of the businesses inside strip centers are small businesses, so many are women owned. But I still had a goal to help you all succeed. And several of you have been asking me, like, what does that look like? Of course, we have our Monday night calls. I've come in, we've brought in other coaches, we've brought in other real estate gurus. We've had you all get on, tell about what you're doing. We do networking, we do sponsoring, spotlights. And when we looked at 2025, I still kept thinking, what is it that I can provide and what kind of value? And so I put on my old hat of being an executive coach and I said, what are the things that I'm seeing that's happening within women in this space? And how could I potentially help them? So tonight, what we are going to do is we are going to go through and I'm going to teach you the two things that I have seen that are holding back women specifically in this real estate investing space. Now, it's interesting as we are coming off of International Women's Day. I've seen a lot of things floating around on Instagram, on threads, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and people are like, do we really have to talk at women? Do we really have to tell them what they're good at or not good at? And here's the caveat that I want to say to all of you. I truly believe that each of you is a total badass. I'm not here to tell you that you have to change. I'm not here to tell you that you suck. I'm not here to have you buy into this idea that without working with me or doing something with Trailblazers, you'll never succeed. That's not how I roll. I truly believe that every single one of you is amazing and wonderful. And there are small tweaks along the way that when you make them can unleash the power and the badassness that resides within you. And so tonight, what we're going to be talking about is confidence and clarity specifically, and why it is that those two things are the things that I have seen that absolutely get in people's way. So, just a disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA. Yeah, my attorneys like us to make sure that we just say this. I'm not going to sit in front of you and say, if you do something with me, you'll be a bajillionaire, because I really don't know that. So, that's our disclaimer. But I want you, oh, you know what? We didn't do something that we do every week. For those of you who've been on these calls, you know this. Um, I want you to drop on a scale of 1 to 10 what your energy is. What is the energy that you're bringing into this call? And this weekend, when I was at this women's wealth symposium, there was actually a woman who is a doctor, an MD, has spent her whole career with Mount Sinai, who's been in the emergency room, like total freaking badass. She actually works for Morgan Stanley right now. And we were talking about mental health and doing these check-ins. And remember, I've told you that I like for you to do a check-in just to see like where you at. She actually said that this is so important because most of us women, we fly by it and we never check in. So I love to just see where are you at? 9, 7, 8, 7, 6, 10, 6, 7. I saw someone has a 4. Totally get it. Totally get it. No matter what you're bringing today, know that you are welcome. We're excited that you're here. I know I'm talking a bajillion miles an hour, but I want to get to so much. So raise your hand if you know that you are capable of more, but something is holding you back. Actually, drop a me in the chat because I think that's going to be the easiest way for me to be able to keep up with that. Drop a me in the chat if you have big goals, but you second guess yourself more often than you want to. Lady, I don't know who it is that's talking in the background. We love you. We love your little family. But if you'll mute yourself, that would be amazing. Drop a me in the chat if you have learned strategies, these real estate investing strategies, but you're still not making the money that you want. And last but not least, drop a me in the chat because I know some of you are actually making the money that you want, but you are either doing it by yourself or you found only the wrong people and you have no idea how to actually find the right people. Yeah. I just want each and every single one of you to look to see how many me's there are. The number one thing on our recent Trailblazers survey, the number one thing that you all said was, I think everyone else but me is crushing it. That was the most answered when we asked, how are you feeling about your business? Everyone thinks somebody else is doing it better. Everyone else thinks that they've got it and maybe I don't. And so we're going to dig into that right now. So I want to talk to you about what we are trying to accomplish by the end of the night. By the end of the night, I want you to understand why confidence is the missing piece, why clarity is the thing that is absolutely keeping you stuck. It's keeping you doing the wrong thing. It's keeping you in a cycle of pivoting. Again, we asked you all in our survey, how many times have you pivoted? The majority of you answered 3+ times. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some of you have heard and remember me saying, I made a direct to agent call. I did that one time. Some of y'all did that for 6 months. It took one for me, and I was like, nope, I'm out. I've done some capital raising. I've done some fix and flips with my husband. We're part of a multifamily deal. Like, I get it. I have tried lots of things, right? And that just said shiny object syndrome. When we hear real estate investing, we may get sucked into one mentor or one guru, their ads on Facebook. Maybe we started our dream by HGTV. Oh my gosh, I can do what Chip and Joanna do, right? I can be the next rambling redhead, right? And then what we're going to talk about is number one, next step that happens when you break through hesitation, because hesitation is keeping you from getting where you want to go. So let's talk about the confidence gap. This is what I hear over and over. I just need more time. There's another strategy out there for me. I need experience. I'm not saying that you don't need experience. I'm not saying that maybe another strategy wouldn't suit you well. We all need more time to be able to grow. But trusting yourself is a huge thing. So I want to take you back to 2018. In 2018, I had an entire full coaching practice. I had 19 clients from coast to coast. I had one in Canada. They were all women who were either at the director level or above, or they were entrepreneurs. And one of the ways that I would actually get my clients is I would go out and speak, and then I would ask women to sign up for complimentary coaching sessions. I would coach them, I would ask them questions, and we would figure out if we were a good fit for each other. So in 2018, I am doing hundreds of these calls to find the right clients. And I am talking to women in every state. Okay, so I wasn't just limited to Dallas where I live. I had clients in New York City, Chicago, LA, smaller towns. I had some clients in Kansas, people in Florida, right? I was talking to women who had all different backgrounds. Some of them were college educated, some of them just jumped right into entrepreneurship. And let me tell you what would happen. I would get on a phone call with them and I would say, what is it that you want for your life or career over the next 12 to 24 months? Every single one of them could have an answer. Now, some people had like just little, ideas, and some of them had full-blown plans, right? Like many of the women you either are or you know. Some of us have full plans and some of us just have little nuggets. And then I would ask them, what is keeping you and stopping you right now from getting what you want? What's holding you back from this thing that you say beyond a shadow of a doubt you want? And y'all, I was so shocked. I mean, I was talking to some women who were making like $700,000 a year in their career. I was talking to women who were already in the C-suite, and I would listen to them, and I kept hearing over and over, "Oh, I don't feel confident enough, Katie. There's a lack of confidence that I have. I don't think that I'm confident enough to go do it." To the point where I got so nervous from hearing the same thing over and over that I started keeping a tally mark on my desk, like literally a piece of paper. And through my own original research, what I figured out was that 96% of the women who were coming to me, and also I was coaching a couple of men back then, so it's not just a women problem, but I'm just talking to y'all now, right? Um, 96% of the people that I was talking to said confidence was keeping them from going after what they wanted. And when I started looking at these women and seeing who they were and what positions they were in and what they were doing in their communities, what they were trying to build in their businesses, y'all, what I started saying was, "Oh my goodness. What are we not doing? What are we not building? What are we not creating? Where are we not speaking up? What is not happening because we are holding ourselves back?" And right now, even as I relive this, I have knots in my stomach because, see, the thing about it is, I believe that you and we were put here on this planet because we have big, bold things to do in our life. I don't know what your big, bold thing is. But I know that if you're letting confidence stop you, a lack of confidence, a feeling that you don't have it, that there's something that's supposed to happen that's not going to happen. And the ripple effect that's supposed to occur because of you isn't going to occur. And so in that moment in 2018, I started digging into confidence like it was my freaking job. Well, it kind of actually was my job. And I started uncovering who the confidence expert were. I started talking to people in universities. In fact, at the end of 2018, I had become so obsessed with this topic that I gave a TEDx talk about confidence. And then I started going into companies, big companies, Fortune 100 companies, brand name companies that Capital One, Fidelity, Ernst& Young, Mary Kay, Southwest Airlines. And I started talking to them about confidence. And I started coaching their high performers. Because what I kept telling these executives was, you got a woman on your team who's a badass, and she's not going to get where she needs to go because she doesn't feel confident enough for it. And so all these companies started having me here. And so the confidence gap is this idea of trusting yourself and taking action. But let me tell you that the key to confidence is this. I would talk to these women, I would coach them, I'd be inside these companies, and here's what I would hear. Katie, when I feel confident, then I'll go do the hard thing. What? Drop a me in the chat if you've ever said, when I feel confident, I'll go do the thing. Even if you've never said it out loud, even if it was just something you said in your mind. I did. I've said it. I've had things in my gut that I knew were aligned, that I knew I was meant for. And I said, no, I don't feel confident enough to go do it. The truth about confidence is that you have to do the hard thing. And that's how your confidence builds. In fact, if you go and you listen to my TEDx talk, I talk a lot about my time with my personal trainer, Emily, who I've worked out with for years. If Americans were able to sit on their sofa and have abs of steel and quads that were powerful and biceps that were amazing, we would do it. Instead, we're the fattest nation on the planet, fattest first world country. Because the same thing happens. You have to get into the gym to build the muscle. You have to do the reps for the muscle to show up. And confidence is a muscle. And the reason why we stay stuck is because we stay in the gap between what we say we want and actually doing it because we don't feel confident. Here's the three things that I've seen happen over and over and over and over in confidence. And it's happened to me. One, the number one thing that stops anyone, and I'm not making this up, this is something you can Google, this is something you can find, this is what world-renowned researchers have found. We fear making the wrong decision. We fear failure. So we overthink and we get stuck in paralysis. Analysis paralysis, drop a that's me in the chat if you've ever been there. Tonight, we're going to talk about Trailblazers All Access. I've been sitting on this idea for 14 months. Kaylin Beals has been kicking my ass saying, what are you doing? Why are you not helping people? Kimberly Hoyt told me a couple of months ago, you're selfish because you're not helping women. You think you are on your Monday night calls, but there are actually women who need more help from you, and you're being selfish. Because I was so afraid to make the wrong decision that I've been overthinking it and I've had analysis paralysis. It killed my confidence. The number two thing is we compare and we leave everything. We feel behind. We feel like everyone's left us. Learning mode instead of action mode. Okay, so one of the things that unites all of us in this is that we all are in mentorships. We're all working with real estate gurus. Have you all noticed that there are the consumers of the gurus and then there are the doers? I'll tell you what I mean by that. There are people who are in every single program, every single one. They go to every meetup. They go to every conference. They are stacked with calls. The Zooms are full. You see them all the time. Can't effing tell you what they do to save their life. Couldn't articulate their business or how they've made a dime in real estate investing. Right? Because they stay stuck in learning mode instead of action mode. They're comparing, they're looking around, they're going, well, if I just do that like they do, then maybe that'll happen. So now I got to go learn that. Another confidence killer that I see are these money blocks and hesitation to invest, which is interesting because all of us are action takers and many of us have invested, right? I will just tell you, I'm going to a speaker training in 2 weeks. I have, over the last 12 years, probably spent close to $25,000 on my speaking coaching, just for speaking, nothing else. Not real estate investing, not how to be a better coach, not how to be a better entrepreneur, right? So I'm sure that for many of you, you can be like, yeah, I also have spent a good amount of money. I think since I turned 29, when I add up all the coaches that I used to have, even when I had my W-2, well over six figures, probably pushing almost $200,000 is what I've spent. So sometimes we have those money blocks, right? The most successful women that I know are not the smartest or most experienced. How many of y'all have met a woman in person, maybe at a meetup, maybe at a conference, maybe you heard them speak, you met them and you're like, oh my God, she's a genius. And then you talk to her and you're like, she ain't even that smart. It's that they take bold, aligned action. Nobody has to drop any, nobody has to drop any names. But I know that I have met women that I'm like, I don't even get it. Like, how is this happening? So confidence isn't something that you wait for. It is something that you have to build. And I will tell you this, for some of you on our Trailblazers Zooms, y'all are newbies. You're just starting out. You are like, oh, I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe I've been doing it less than a year. For some of you, you're like, I've been doing this for 3 years. I am not a newbie. What is fascinating about confidence is that every time you level up, you have to unlock a new level of confidence. You think it's a new level of skill set. I could argue that maybe it's not. I could also argue that it is. But I definitely know that you have to unlock a new level of confidence. And when you second guess yourself, you actually delay things. I Let me just tell y'all this. Okay, so back 2018. Okay, so I'm doing all this speaking. I get my first keynote at a national conference, and I'm so pumped, y'all. I'm like, I'm getting paid. This is amazing. I have this keynote gig. It was all female audience. And the woman that introduces me is a woman named Janice Bryant Howroyd. Google her. Anybody know who she is? Anybody ever heard of her? Okay. So, she is a very successful woman. In fact, she is the second richest Black woman in America after Oprah Winfrey. She was running billion-dollar businesses. And somehow, I did not know, but somehow this woman introduced me. And I didn't know who she was. I just knew she had this fabulous Chanel bag and she had this assistant that followed her around and everyone else knew her. And I'm like, oh, she has like some. Yes, Yolanda, she started a temp company. She absolutely did. And now it is a global freaking phenomenon. And so I meet this woman and I'm like, oh, and she says to me, I really like you. I think I can help you. Here's my assistant. He's going to email you. Get on my calendar and we'll do business. Y'all, I second guessed myself. I never, ever, ever connected with her. That could have been a 6 or 7 figure opportunity for me. She could have unlocked stages and doors that I never could have dreamed of getting on. But I second guessed myself. I didn't trust myself. I was playing it too small. And this is why confidence matters because some of you are meeting your own JBH and you're just letting it go by. Some of you are getting into these rooms and you're like, well, I don't actually know what I'm doing. Your ability to take bold action, even when you're freaking scared to death, matters. Confidence will matter over strategy every single time. Every time. You know why? Because you can catch up with the strategy. You can find the who that can help you. You can learn the strategy. Y'all know that I love myself some Natasha on this call. Natasha's husband looked at her a couple of years ago and said, "We don't need to be in single family anymore. We need to do multifamily." And Natasha said, "Cool, I'm confident enough to get myself in a room to learn how to underwrite these deals. And I'm going to take bold action and I'm going to go fast and I'm not going to delay. And I'm going to believe that this is something I can build. And I'm going to build this muscle." And now she has do you have over 1,000 doors now, Natasha? Almost?
We close on Wednesday with half of the portfolio and the other half at the end of the month. So by the end of the month, fingers crossed, it will be over 1,000 doors.
And on January 1st, 2023, how many multifamily doors did you have?
We had zero. We didn't even know about multifamily. We started to learn in March. So yeah,
So 1 year, two
yep.
years, 2 years from then, right? I
Yeah, it
mean,
was 1 year. 1 year got us to 722 doors, and then this 339 in one deal will be over 1,000.
thank you, lady.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Natasha found the confidence within herself to say, "I'm going to figure this out." She didn't wait. She didn't wait for some mentor or guru to anoint her and say, "You can do it." She didn't say, "Oh my gosh, I gotta like, no, I gotta maybe get to 50 doors on my single family. I can't jump that fast." That's not what she did. Kimberly Hoyt jumped into the role of fund manager and partner in a real estate fund because she decided to take a chance on herself and be confident. Your confidence matters. Now, confidence is one part of the puzzle, and clarity is the other part of the puzzle. Most women do not have a business problem, they have a clarity problem. I've talked to a lot of you individually. You don't know what the hell you want. You don't. You say, "Well, I want more doors." What does that mean? "Well, I want a bigger business." What is bigger? You say, "Well, I want to fix and flip." Cool. What part of fix and flipping do you want? Kaylin Beals, fix and flipper. She's new in this area. We looked at Kaylin and we said, okay, confidence is not something she had a year ago. When we met, she was like, "I can't do this." I was like, "Yes, you can." So we started working on some things together. She got real clear real quick. TC was not where she wanted to be. Cool. Where do you want to be? "Well, I think that I want to be a fix and flipper." Amazing. Here's the thing. When you say you want to be a fix and flipper, do you know how many roles you can take on being a fix and flipper? When you say you want to be a wholesaler, do you know how many roles you can take on? When you say, "I want to have a multifamily portfolio," do you know how many roles you can take on? I have yet to see a person who is both great at all of the detail work and the big vision work. Lizanne is just like shaking her head. I can walk into a house that we're fixing flipping and say, move that wall, tear this down, put the kitchen here. This is what we do." Can I pick painkillers? Nope. You know why? Because there's too many damn choices. I don't like doing the detail work. I don't have a business problem. I have a clarity problem. We've spent the last 2 weeks talking about how do you actually put into words what you're great at. Some of you still don't know, and that's okay. It takes time. But when you say, "I'm a people person," that's bullshit. When you say, I'm a numbers person, that doesn't tell anyone who wants to work with you what you actually do. I know some numbers per people who are amazing at sitting with their spreadsheet and doing all the data and being able to look it up and put it in a pretty PowerPoint. But the second that I ask them to present in front of a private money lender, the numbers, which they love and know, they're like, I can't do that. Okay, cool. I know some numbers people who are like, I can dig in as far as I can, but really what I like doing is taking the numbers and showing people the story of what's happening with it. Colleen Haggerty, she's great at numbers. She loves doing that. Caitlin Beals, Caitlin is not going to be the contractor out on her projects. That's not her wheelhouse. Megan could. Megan's run her own GC freaking company. So clarity is the thing. You have to know what you do best. Because if you don't, you'll do everything and you'll burn out. Is my friend Marcia Donaldson on here right now? She's doing it all. She's
Yes, I'm
doing
here.
it all. And she can't because now she's so busy that she doesn't have a life anymore. But the thing is, when you don't know what you do best, you can never figure out who you need around you. A couple of weeks ago, we had a call to talk about what you all wanted to see out of Trailblazers. And Sharon Kay got on, and Sharon said, well, I can't find any woman of excellence. And I said, what are you talking about, Sharon? Like, we have a group of women of excellence. And she said, no, I can't find them. And I said, cool, let's talk about what excellence means to you. And in fact, let me see if I even have my notes. She and I went through this, and she said, for excellence for me, it means someone who is highly detail oriented. It means that they can cross the T's and dot the I's. It means they can follow up and follow through. Y'all, I think I'm excellent. I think I do excellent work. I am not the person who could do what she thinks is excellent. But because she couldn't articulate what excellent was until we dug a little deeper, she hasn't been able to find her excellent partner. And so she hasn't found the who. A couple months ago, when I said yes to being inside Celine Bright House, I said, I'm going to be the capital raiser. Y'all, I used to run large fundraising teams. I have literally coached fundraisers. I have been coast to coast training fundraisers since I was 23 years old. I'll be 45 on Sunday. I know fundraising. I started doing it for Celine Bright House, and I was like, I hate this. There's a reason why I left my chief development officer role. I don't want to do it. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. But because I wanted to fit with the team, I was saying, oh, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. Drop a I can do that in the chat if you've ever taken on a role inside a real estate investing group or project because you can do it even though you don't want to do it. So I went to my partners and I said, oh, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And I mean, I like stressed and cried and journaled and prayed and meditated and like talked to several of my advisors and mentors. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I got so nervous. I said, I am going to give them back my shares because I can't do this and I'm not their right partner. At the same time, Kimberly Hoyt was seeing my partner, Lori Kibbe, speak. And Kimberly said, I really like her. So she reached out to her. And Kimberly tells Lori, hey, I can capital raise. I'm kind of new at it, but I like doing it. So I'm on the phone with Lori and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to be the fundraiser. And all this time, the universe was like, cool. When you say what it is that you want, and I got real clear on what I wanted, then the universe was like, I'm going to bring Kimberly Hoy. She's going to go to a meeting on a Friday night, which I thought no one was going to show up to because who goes to events on Friday nights? Kimberly Hoy went and saw my partner, Lori. We had two conversations with her and we were like, oh my God, you're the missing link to our team. And now the two of us are working together. I bring people in, she takes them through the finish line. She brings people in. I help coach her on some of the things she can say.
Business hours are Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m.
I don't know who that is, and I don't know how to mute. Thank you for muting yourself. So when you know what you do best, you will then be able to understand who you need around you. Marcia Donaldson, you have a challenge when it comes to you don't trust people. So we got to get you trusting people because we've got to find your next who because you're crushing it right now on your social media. And I bet you that's going to drive new business. And maybe you just want to be doing the actual work. Cool. Then maybe you need somebody else who doesn't do the detail work. But you're never going to know how to grow your business intentionally until you get real clear on what you do. And then we figure out who you need. And the reason so many of us, myself included, have gotten into crappy partnerships or partnerships that didn't work is because we couldn't articulate it. We weren't brave enough and we weren't confident enough to say, this is what I bring to the table. This is what makes me a badass. This is what I'm really great at. This is what I don't want to do. This is what I need you to do. And so we get in crappy partnerships and we lose money. If you've lost money in a crappy partnership, drop me in the chat. I sold all of my content to my old business partner because I didn't want to tell her what I was great at. I had to outweight her for a year and a half to get my speeches on confidence back. Look at all these other women lost money and time. Okay, so confidence and clarity is what you need. If you take nothing else and you're like, all right, cool, that's it, dive into your clarity and dive into your confidence. Outside of one speaking coaching class that I did, one program, I have not done anything else. And again, Kimberly Hoyt was like, you are sitting on so much help that you are being selfish. And so we said, what can we do if we created something called Trailblazers All Access? And what we thought Trailblazers All Access was going to look like and what we actually are going to present to you today are completely different because we've been listening to where it is that you need help. So Trailblazers All Access is all about helping you get very clear on your strengths and your business model. Here's the thing that I've realized as I've been putting together this, I don't even know what we're calling it. It's not really coaching. It's coaching and mastermind and community and a power club and all this stuff. Every guru that you've paid, they're teaching you their system because they wrote their system for them. They wrote their system for them. I don't care who it is. Grant Cardone wrote his system for him. Pace Morby wrote his system for him. Amy Majori wrote her system for her. One of the things I love about Amy, and y'all know Amy's a friend of mine. Amy's like, hey, you got to call people afterwards. I'm like, Amy, I don't call people. I'm like, what else can I do? No, that's the system. Okay, well, I can't do that because that's not how I work. Oh, and the women I want to raise money from, if I called my friends who are executives in town, they'd be like, why are you calling me? I am in meetings. Okay. So we want to help you get real clear on what your ideal business model is. We want to help you build confidence in decision making. Confidence is something that I've told y'all I have been studying. It is something that I have created more tools than anything else. I have become a confidence subject matter expert. This is why companies like Capital One have brought me in to talk to their women across the country. We also know that when women connect together in a high level community with other women who get it, you can scale and speed faster. There are communities out there that we are a part of, and I say we collectively, some of us, where you're not allowed to say it's hard, where you're not allowed to complain, where you're not allowed to say this is challenging. Well, I'm going to call that bullshit too, because it is hard. If everyone was good at building businesses, we'd have more entrepreneurs. Instead, 50% of the GDP in this country, it's 49.6%. I looked it up this morning. 49.6% of the GDP in this country is driven by small businesses. And guess what? You are small business owners. Congratulations. You thought you wanted to fix and flip. I'm here to tell you you're an entrepreneur. The next thing for you to do is help employ people to grow the GDP. There's a reason why you want to do into this. It's to step also into your CEO role. One of the things that I've realized by working with women as entrepreneurs is that we take models that are built for men and try and plug ourselves into them. My old business, Bold Women's Society, if you want, you can Google it. If you don't worry. I had a partner and I was the CEO, and I was like, I don't want to be the CEO, because when I Googled CEO and the job description, I was like, that's not what I want to do. Well, guess what? All Access is about helping you create the business for you. It's about taking a strategy you learned from some other guru and actually modeling it to you, not taking their model and forcing it. So let's talk a little bit about that. Have I already told y'all what is included? No. Do I have that? Okay. So let's talk about what's included. We are going to do once a week, monthly group coaching calls. These coaching calls will have homework. The cadence in the beginning will be, we're going to teach a lesson. We're going to have homework. The next week, we're going to mastermind around that. The next week, we're going to teach something new. Several of you are already at the place you're like, I know where my business is going. We're going to firm up and make sure you're clear on that. And then we're going to get to the who. Some of you, you're not ready for who. So we're going to firm up on you. We're going to firm up on your role. I'm going to dig in and do confidence and clarity training. Last week, Naomi asked, well, let me ask you, is this all new stuff? No, this is not new stuff. This is the exact same things that I have been teaching and doing for 10 years that I have used with thousands of clients. We are going to have a community of women. We are not using Facebook. Facebook sucks for community. You cannot actually get onto it. Things get lost. We're going with Alex Hermosi's school. So you'll have all of the recordings. The emails are in there. One of the coolest parts about school is you have a directory of everyone that's in All Access. You all have been asking me since the beginning, how do I get a directory of everyone? Well, guess what? School has it. Some of you are also saying to me, I need one-on-one coaching. I said for years I wasn't going to do one-on-one coaching. I've done a couple of coaching calls with several of you as a way to say thank you for taking our survey. I realized that I actually loved it and I missed it. So I have 5 spots for 5 women who want coaching calls. It is an additional cost. It's actually less. Caitlin and I were doing math on it today. It is less than what I started when I started coaching in 2015. It's less money. I know Megan's like, what the hell? Right? Because I actually believe that there are reasons why these one-on-one coaching calls work. And then for those of you who are going to be in town, I know a lot of us are in Pace's community. A lot of women are coming into town to Dallas for Squat Up. And so we thought, well, how cool would it be if we did a dinner at my house the night before everything kicks off for the women who are going to be in all access? Now, if you can't be here, we'll be super sad. We can maybe FaceTime you in. I don't know. This is the bare bones of what you're going to get. I also have decided that for those women who say, I'm going to do this, I'm going all in, if you sign up by tomorrow night at midnight, you will have the first 30 days with access to Voxer so that you can send me voice messages. So when you're working on your clarity statement, when you're working on your success statement, when you're having a challenge because you're going into a meeting or going into a pitch or you're sitting down with a private money lender and you feel confidence, you can actually send me a voice memo. So all of the women who sign up before tomorrow night, before midnight Central tomorrow, will have that Voxer. There's 2 things you can do. You can totally keep doing what you're doing. And listen, I think you're a badass, so I think you're going to get there. I don't think this is the right thing for every single one of you. I'm not saying that to be rude or mean. I just think that some of you, you're not ready for this. I think there's a lot of other of you who are like, oh my God, I need this. I need support and structure and confidence. I need to take the strategy someone else has taught me and actually create a business that's for me. So we have 2 options. These are the QR codes. The one in the turquoise, our Trailblazers turquoise, that will take you directly to school and our about page. It has more details. There is a video with everything else that's in it. You can see some testimonials from women who've worked with me. Listen, when we looked at pricing, we were like, what can we charge for this? And I know that you guys are charged for everything. And you're like, Katie, I can't pay for one more thing. And I wanted this to be as accessible as possible. It's $3,500. I talked to several other gurus and mentors who were like, you could charge like 15 grand for this. I'm like, I know, but I need to help more women. So it's $3,500. 2 weeks ago or a week ago, some of you said, oh my gosh, I got a lot of stuff coming up. Can I pay on 3 installments? Yes. So we have that. That'll take you to Stripe. We are opening this tonight. It will close next Monday, March 17th. We have no idea when we're going to open this again. I'm not saying that as a thing to be scarcity or FOMO or anything like that. But I am so committed to helping the women who say yes to this today that we are going to take our time. We are going to hold their hand. It's not just me. Caitlin Beals, who is my right-hand woman inside Trailblazers, as you know, she is also going to be there with you, with us. I'm giving unprecedented access to myself in a way that in group coaching I've never done before because I believe that several of you are right there. And I see you and you talk to me and you're like, do you think I should sign up for this? Should I sign up for this Raise Fest thing? Should I do one more of Pace's things? Am I ready for Grant Cardone? Do you think I should do Multify with Vina? I don't know, maybe. But I'm telling you, you got strategies in your head. You just don't know how to put them into a business. So I want to help you actually get your business organized, ready, your confidence, moving you in the place. That is a lot that I just threw out at you. It is 7:02 my time, 2 past the top of the hour at your time. I have not looked at the chat in a while, so I want to know um Sabrina, how much time do we get to work in the group? This is for a full year of access. This is a full year of access. Um, so will you have me for a full year? Megan, mine is needing advice on my crazy ideas when I pivot. Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are pivoters, but you need to understand how does that align with my bigger vision. And sometimes you just need someone to not sugarcoat with you and say, stop doing that. Yeah, Megan, it's $3,500 for a year. Yolanda, that is an amazing price. Girl, I know. Amy Majuri the other day told me I was crazy. She was like, you are going to do that for what? I was like, I know. Do you think I'm nuts? She was like, yeah. She's like, tell them I told you to. She said, tell everyone that I told them to sign up because that's insane. All right. I want to answer your questions. I want to answer your questions about confidence. I want to answer your questions about clarity. I want to answer your questions about your business. Um, Tell me what you got, ladies.
So Megan has a question about how many women are we taking?
Yes. Megan, you're taking 30 women. Caitlin and I talked a lot about that number today, and we came on that very specifically. This will go out, this email and all of this will go out to our email distribution list. I think we have about 875 women. Kim Bailey, one-on-one spots. Yes. One-on-one is this. One-on-one, you will get 10 coaching calls that you can use over the next 5 months. They're 30-minute calls. If you want to do all 10 of them in the first 10 weeks, you can do that. And that's 5,000 extra dollars. So it's 3,500 plus 5,000. Colleen, the pivot queen up in here. Let me also say this. People, as we've been teasing a little bit and having some back end conversations, people are like, what does that mean? Does that mean that Trailblazers is going away? No, Trailblazers Monday nights are not going away. It's not going away. We are going to continue to have some of that stuff. We are going to continue to bring in speakers. I will tell you, our better speakers are going to be in all access. My friends who are writing books, my friends who are world-renowned experts, they're going to be in all access. But we will continue to have speakers inside. We're going to go back to the cadence. We're going to go back to the cadence of networking, spotlights, because again, we want you to continue to get to know each other. I will speak once a month and then we will have another speaker. So that is going to happen. Right now, our calls are scheduled for Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. Michelle, it will not be the same. No, Trailblazers Monday nights and Trailblazers All Access are not going to be the same.
Thank you, because yeah, it won't be the same. It's going to click up and there's going to be clickiness. And it's not you.
but it will happen because it does happen when people get to know each other better than other people. It just does.
Well, and here's the thing that I never anticipated. I mean, y'all, I thought this would be like 60 women. Like, I didn't anticipate we would grow to 1,200 people. Even this time last year before Squad Up, we had maybe 300 women in our Facebook group. We have women who've joined us that I'm like, I don't even know you. They're like, who are you? I'm like, who are you? Which is great. It's amazing. It's awesome. But I also did this because people said, I want to actually work with the women. Well, guess what? I can't facilitate this on a Monday night. It's not worth it for me. Running Trailblazers cost me money. And at this point, I've barely made $1. So I don't want there to be clicks, but I will also say this. Um, there's level ups in every, kind of group. And we've always been free and our Facebook group will continue to be free. But this is my way to help women in a different way. Absolutely everything will be recorded. Everything will go up within a few hours. That's the other thing. People have been asking us for these recordings, and I'm like, why am I giving y'all these recordings for free? Like, to the point, and I will just say this. So the only thing I've asked for any of you to be in this group is to give me your email address. That's it. And some women have just been like unsubscribing from my email list. And you know what I have been doing? Removing them from our group. Because if that is the lowest barrier to entry and you do not want to get my emails, guess what? You don't get to see all the badass women what we're doing. Sorry. Go start your own group if you don't want me to have your email address. And that might be catty. I still am going to sleep at night. It's okay. Sabrina, I love how you say I understand working for free. Let me also say this. I've now been in the women's entrepreneur space for almost 11 years. And I see a lot of women working for free because we think we have to earn our stripes or like we have to be go-givers. Y'all. Okay. Just remember, I went to an all-girls school. I've coached thousands of women. I was on my all-girls school alma mater. I've worked for the largest regional women's fund in the world. We don't need to tell women to give more. I need y'all to charge more. You know who wrote The Go-Giver? A man. I need y'all to be brave enough and confident enough to say, this is what I'm worth and this is how much I'm charging. Y'all already give. Y'all, I worked in nonprofit fundraising for 14 years. I know how nonprofits work. They run off the backs of women. It's called volunteering. We think it's cool and sexy. No, it's free labor. You do it inside your PTAs, your churches, your kids' school. You do it inside your kids' soccer teams. You do it in your family. Like, no, we're not working for free. You have a reason why you wanted to start a real estate investing business. You have some goal, something. And I'm not telling you not to be a giver. I'm just saying we don't need to tell women to be more of a giver. It's like last year for International Women's Day, I saw a woman that I know who I've known for many years, a top level executive for a Fortune 50 company, and she gets up on the stage and she says, women need to prepare more. The F we do. I see women prepare, and I see a man go, oh, we got a meeting? Okay. So we're going to make money, ladies. And I want you to make as much freaking money as you possibly want. And if you want to give every single dime to your favorite organization, I'm going to love that. I'm going to support you on that. I can help you and answer questions on that. If you want to send your kids to certain schools and that's your big goal, your big dream, if you want to travel the world, again, I don't know what your big bold thing is. But I know that when you become clear on what you are, what you want to build, you have the confidence to actually take aligned action, then you can build the business that you want. And at the end of the day, this is about building the business that fits you, not the business that fits the guru that you've paid that they created to fit them. Your business will not look like mine. The reason Caitlin and I are doing this together is because Caitlin runs one kind of business and I run another kind of business. We do two very different things in real estate investing. The women who are going to be in this, they're going to do different things. They're going to see different things. They're going to lead differently. And the whole idea for this is that you make money. And if you want, you also bring more women in or men. You might have 10 grandkids who are men, and you're like, girl, I'm trying to leave their legacy. Cool. What Denise just said, there was a guy at work that never prepared and would come over and ask me questions right before a meeting. He became a manager. One last story as you are thinking of your questions. So I worked for United Way. I was very successful there. I was tapped on the shoulder for several big promotions. And during the 08, 09 recession, I was the only fundraiser who had a community of donors that actually gave more during the recession than less. They were all women. They were all executive women giving $10,000 gifts. Again, back in 08, 09. So $10,000 is like $40,000 now, right? You think about it. And they said, Katie, we're going to hire somebody and squeeze somebody in between you and your VP. I was a director. And I was like, okay, that sucks. And we're going to title it AVP. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So they hired a man who did not know anything about fundraising. And guess who got to train him? I did. And guess who helped him with every single thing? I did. And of course, it didn't work because duh. And then he went back to what he's doing, and he's now like the GM of a tire plant, which he's been very successful at. And you know what they did? They're like, Katie, this is the job for you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, okay, so we know that the title is AVP, but we're going to give you the title Senior Director. And we know you trained him and we know we paid him six figures, but we're only going to give you $88,000. And you are also going to have a little bit more responsibility. And so I took that job, and 8 months later, I left and became a vice president. And I said goodbye to your shitty offer. Yeah. So again, they are not prepared, and yet they still somehow win. We don't need to prepare more. For those of you who've been told, like Kimberly Hoyt, you're at the top of where you are in your W-2, girl, you got to get this to work. Your real estate investing business has to take off, and there's no reason it shouldn't. Okay, what questions do you have? Yolanda, where have you been all my real estate life? I'm here now. Just like the universe brought me Kimberly Hoyt at the exact moment that I needed it. Maybe this is your exact moment. Megan, we want to hear about cage fighting, but we want to hear about it next Monday. In fact, we'll even let you lead off. We're going to do some networking next Monday because it's been about 6 weeks since we've done pure networking. Let me put up those codes in case you need to see it again. Neither of these codes have the one-on-one coaching. So just shoot me an email, katie@katielangford.com, or message me on Instagram. Don't message me on Facebook. I have like 75 messages in Facebook right now and it will get lost. I know
Hey,
Megan's like
Katie.
grinning. Yes.
Just so you know, the pay in full and save code just goes to school. It doesn't go to Stripe.
Yes. You scroll to the bottom and it should be there. Let's look.
Katie,
Yes, lady.
does everyone know that it costs you a certain amount of money to be in school? Because I accidentally signed up for my own account in school and went, what the? I don't even know what this is. And I backed out. But does everybody know that there's like a cost to school? And so you're not receiving all of that money. Like some of
No,
it's
so
going to
we pay
school.
$99 to host our community. You should not have to pay anything unless you create your own community. It is not
Okay.
free to create a community. But
Okay. And you don't
we
have
are
to pay
just
something for having people there.
no, we pay that. We have,
But I mean, you have to pay stuff for that.
yeah, we pay for it. But you don't. The only time you have to pay for school is if you create a community.
Okay. So you have to pay $99 for the school program,
Yes.
and you don't have to pay for extra people to be in that with you. Okay. All right. I just didn't know that.
So the problem is, Kaylin, is that I can only see here is can somebody open that and see? It's supposed to be on there.
So that takes it to like the about page, but
Yes.
then
And
there's
then
only,
that's where you're supposed to be able to click in it. But I don't know if you can see it because you're also an admin. So maybe,
oh,
yeah.
maybe.
Bye, Lizanne.
I
Catherine,
was
did
going to
it
say
show where
there's
you
a
can click and join?
yeah, there's a join off to the side.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't see that.
okay. I can't see that then. Okay, never mind. So Avita had a good question. She said, who is ideal for this experience? Where do we need to be? And what do we need to bring to make the most of this opportunity?
Yes. Okay. Tell me the first question one more time.
Who is ideal for this experience?
So I would say the person who is ideal for this experience is not a brand newbie. Like if you just got into real estate investing last week.
Taking all the money and running.
In the fire
Oh,
station.
Terry, I'm gonna mute you. If you just got into this like 2 weeks ago and you're like, I need to really learn like the strategy, then this is not it. You have some strategy that you've learned about that you're like, cool, now I'm creating a business. If you don't know your strategy, that's okay. If you are like, I'm in this and in this, that's okay. Or if you know, like I'm gonna pick, so like Avita. So you're like, I know that I'm a transaction coordinator. Okay, so there are 97 ways to build a transaction coordinator business. You could do it as a solopreneur. You could bring on some partners and everybody owns a piece of the business. You could build a business where you have employees. You could just lead and manage the business, right? So what I want you to come in with is I know I know there's a business. You may not know what it looks like yet. That's okay. Some of you are like, I know there's a business and I know it's transaction coordinator and I know I have to add who, but I can't. I don't know what to do with that. So if you are brand new and you have no clue and you're like, I need to learn how to fix and flip. we are happy to recommend you to another guru who actually teaches real estate investing strategy. What was the second part of that question? Because I wanted to answer that.
What do we need to bring to make the most of this opportunity?
Yes. Okay. So what you have to bring to this opportunity is an open mind and a willingness to dig in deep with yourself. So the difference between us and a real estate investment strategy is the work that we're going to be doing is all about you. It can become emotional, it can become hard. There will be women who cry because what we're doing and uncovering is uncomfortable. And so I would say if you are in a space or a phase or a season of your life where you have no bandwidth to get to know yourself better, this is not for you. So like if you know, for example, I'm leaving my husband and I'm going through a messy divorce and I know I have to start a business, but it's going to take me a while to get through this divorce. This is not for you. I use the divorce as an example. Like this is for you if you're like, I've been through all of that and now I'm ready for the next piece. If you just started a brand new W-2 job and it is super high intensive and you've got to learn all the new things and you're learning all new language and all of those things, this is not for you. What was that last question, Kaylin?
What do I need to bring?
What do you need to bring? You just need to bring yourself and an open mind. And you need to bring your walls of steel because the things we're going to be talking about are very confidential and will not leave our virtual room. So if you're not a trustworthy person, we don't want you. If someone in the group is suing you because you've stole their money, we don't want you. I'm not trying to be mean, but like I need women who are like above board right now. Um, One other thing that I did not dig into a lot. The who piece. The who piece is so big. So the first part we're starting with is clarity and confidence. A lot of the clarity is going to be around you. I said that some of you are at the place where you're like, no, I need clarity around who. One of the things that I did not include, and we only have a certain number of like space that we can use on school, but in a like extra part of this work that will be happening is around the who. I will be helping you create job descriptions. I will be helping you if you are bringing people on your team, how to interview them, how to, what are the questions that you ask? What are the filters that you put them through? So for those of you who are like, I know that I am adding people and that is the place that you are getting stuck, that is something we're going to do a lot around. We are not going to be doing right now the legal piece of this. So we will not be bringing in, attorneys to write JV agreements or anything like that. But I know many of you have never hired people, don't know the questions to ask. And when I say hire, I mean as a contractor, as a W-2, as a VA, as a 1099 employee, as a vendor, like you don't know how to do that. We are going to do that with you. I'm going to hold your hand because that is something that I excel at and I freaking love helping people hire. Sabrina, all of these Monday nights are going to be uploaded. In fact, I think I uploaded like a lot of them today. So you'll also get all the access. So it's funny, when we started this, it was going to be like 2 calls a week and you were going to get access to this. And then we were like, that's like nothing. That's like not even cool. But yes, you'll have access to all of these Monday night calls as well. Yolanda, I love the confidentiality and trustworthy piece. Yeah. So one of the first things we're going to do, and the reason why we're not opening and leaving it open and all of that, because we know there's a lot of communities where like you just can come in, you can come in and you can come in. And we talked about like, should we do this as a cohort? What does it look like when we bring other people? This first group that is going with us, our founding members of our All Access, they're going to help us set the tone for the rules of civility that we're going to create. They're going to help us set the tone for, if we have mostly women who are like, yeah, I just need to do my who, then we're gonna pivot pretty quickly for that, right? So, a big part of it is going to be who's in the group, and we're gonna be talking to you about that. And remember, if you sign up before tomorrow midnight, you'll have 30 days of Voxer. It might be Voxer, it might just be like voice text, but you'll have voice text access to me as well. What else? And if this isn't the right time for you, lady, here's what I want you to know. I still love you. You're still going to see me on Monday nights. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not blowing up Trailblazers. I'm just taking this to another level to help more women get really deeper. That's it. Avita, we think that it will be offered more than once, but I don't know. When we did the Trailblazers public speaking last year, I was like, I'm only going to offer it once. And then earlier this calendar year, I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to teach people to do. And that was literally what I was going to do. And then I was talking to you all and listening to you on the survey, and none of you were like, yeah, teach me how to do that. None of you, like nobody. I was like, oh, I guess they don't need that. So I think it will, but I really don't know when. I would imagine that if we open this back up, it will not happen until the fall because we will probably go real deep with this group for the next 6 months. Now, if they're on track and it's amazing and they're like, yeah, we need more women and this will be great, then we'll do that. But we just really don't know. The first call starts the 20th. Correct. And here's the other thing. If y'all get in this and you're like, Thursday's like the worst day ever for us, like, we'll figure that out too. We just picked a date and a time that was like cool for Caitlin and I. It will not ever be on Mondays, but other than that, what else? What else? What else? Okay.
I love how you're protecting the group and how you just made it very obvious that this has nothing to do with the group, but it has everything to do with going higher and deeper with you. I love that. You presented that really clearly and well. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I mean, that's another reason why we're not doing it on Facebook because we're like, well, we have two Facebook groups. Like that feels, again, kind of going back to that clicky thing. Like that feels weird. Like when you come every Monday night, we're not going to be like selling you into all access. Like that's not going to happen. That's not what we're trying to do. And here's the other thing, ladies. I just have to be really clear on this. This is not going to create my wealth. So, like, I got out of online coaching for a reason, and I got into real estate investing for a reason. And I'm putting this hat on because it's a different space, and I know what it's like to be a lonely female entrepreneur. And I'm like, if I sit on some of the things that I know can help, like, it's not really cool. But I have zero intention of becoming like just a guru and like, no. I'm building a fund. We're raising $10 million. Our goal is $100 million in the next 5 years. That's what's happening. Like, I'm still a real estate investor. I'm just taking cool things that I already know, to help you level up just a little, just quicker. Oh, Megan. Oh, didn't even think about that. Yeah. I like, if I could do Monday night calls every night, I would, because I freaking love it. And so I'm just like, oh. And I will also say this, because I've also been told that sometimes on my Monday night calls, it's a little about me, not enough about the people in the room. And I'm sorry. Um, our calls and this will be about the women in the room. It will not be about me. It will be about what I can teach you, what I can help you unlock, and where you want to go. It's not about my business, it's about your business. Okay, last thing I'm going to say is this. You all are freaking badasses. In case I don't tell you enough, like, I'm so lucky and so fortunate that I get to hang out with you on Monday nights. I am so lucky and so fortunate that I know your stories and what you're working on. Like, I love that I can look at Catherine and be like, I know what's happening in her business right now. I love that I can look at Megan and say the same thing. I love that I know that Cassandra, why I just said that wrong. Like I'm gonna see you in a couple of weeks. Like, I love that. And in case I don't tell you enough, it really is my honor and my privilege to be in your world. And if I impact even the smallest piece of your life, know that that's my favorite thing in the whole world to do. So as you go through this week, I would ask for two things. One, that you remember that you're a badass. Number two, my birthday is on Sunday. I'm turning 45. It's a big year for me. And I just would ask for your prayers that whatever is supposed to happen and I'm supposed to become, that it would happen. So, ladies, go have an amazing week. We will see you next Monday and inside Trailblazers Facebook group. If you join, amazing. If you don't and you just hang out with us on Mondays, still love you just as much.
Katie,
Yeah.
hold on one second. Can we all unmute and sing happy birthday,
Oh,
or would
no,
that
lady.
totally not
Girl,
work?
that will like make me so uncomfortable.
I think it's a good idea. Ready? On the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to
you.
Y'all are the best. How about all of this? How about everybody smile so I can take a picture? Because I never post or take pictures of all of y'all. Ready? Turn your camera on for a second if you can. Okay, ready? Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, smile. Wait, did that work? Oh, shoot. Did I hang up on y'all?
No.
Oh,
Will somebody take a picture? I don't know how to do this.
I got it. I got a picture.
Thanks.
They're just on my phone, not like a nice screenshot.
Y'all are amazing. All right, ladies, we will see you soon. Thank you so much. And remember, clarity, confidence, those are the keys. All of you that are pivoting 97 times, no, 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 no. We got this. See you soon. Bye, ladies.